Hi guys, it's Valerie and this is Drawing with Fire. In this video I am burning on a standard craft ready gourd provided by Welburn Gourd Farms. All product information and links are listed down below. I am starting off my project with the Stick and Burn Celtic patterns provided to me. This is the first time I've ever used them and it was quite nice. I think great for beginners, especially ones who aren't comfortable with their drawing skills. You don't have to create a pattern, it's already ready for you. There's clear burn lines. The paper is easy to stick down, pull up, and re-stick to readjust it. You don't have to worry about your pattern shifting like you would if you tape down and use graphite. And this paper can also be used on wood and other materials, so it's definitely a good place for beginners to start with. I spent 30 to 45 minutes trying to get it lined up, to get it even, to get it where I wanted it the base to be. You also can trim down, and should trim down in order to make this placement a little bit easier. But what you can see here is that I'm sticking it down, pulling it up, and re-sticking it with no issues on that. Now we're going to start burning our pattern on. I started with the tight round tip. I thought it was a nice thin tip, and actually I did not like it for this. It's hard to see the pattern, and I just didn't like how it was burning. So I changed tips a couple of times. I switched my tip over to the number 5 spear tip. I'm using NIBSBURNER through the whole video, and the tip does a little bit better. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I do finish the border with this tip. Now on the stick and burn, you have to realize there's a lot of smoke coming off of it. This isn't the gourd, this is the paper, and I had to move in a fan to suck out the noxious smell from it. If you're sensitive, definitely have a fan going. You can wear a mask. You probably should wear a mask. Another issue with using this stick and burn is that you have to clean your tips a lot. A lot of the plastic melts onto your tip and you have to constantly scrape it off. Here I'm using a RAZORTIP tip cleaner to scratch off that plastic. I mentioned it before, with the stick and burn, it's really hard to see how well you're burning underneath the pattern, meaning because of how this is laid out, you have to try to figure out the separation between the burn and the black ink, and the plastic piles up. So just take your time and try to burn as light as you can, I would say. That way you can always go back and darken a burn, but you can't take that dark burn away. Now we're coming to the end of our burn, and after this we'll be taking the stick and burn for the border off. Now here's the fun part, seeing how the burn came out under the stick and burn. It comes off easily. You just have a lot of it that you need to make sure each little part is pulled off. And there's really not a whole lot of residue left over. You will take care of that at the end after you're done with all your burning. As you can see, I didn't get a perfect burn line, but I can always go back and will go back and fix that. So that's our first part of the stick and burn. Now we're off to burn our main subject. I did switch tips and I'm using the writer tip. It is a thicker tip, but it was much easier to control the burn. I got a more even burn across the gourd and was definitely a lot happier with using this tip versus the other tip. As you can see, I'm still using my tip cleaner to knock off that plastic before I move on, because it does lessen how much heat is going to your tip and will interfere with how you're burning. I found that the writer nib also took corners and curves a lot easier. I wasn't having to adjust my body as much between the gourd. It was just a much smoother, easier time burning. If I was only to use the first two tips, I did not enjoy burning with those. The writer nib is a lot easier to use. And there's one other nib I will be showing you that I use, and that too works well. We've finished burning, and now it's time to remove all of the stick and burn. Remember, there's little pieces everywhere, and this actually took me a good 10-15 minutes to remove. I just really cut it down for you guys and sped it up because it's just a lot of peeling. Very satisfying though. It's nice to see the burn underneath. As you can see with the writer nib, the burn came out a lot more even. Definitely happy with that tip. I would go with the writer's nib. Now it's time for detail. I switched my tip over to the owl tip. My tip is sharpened. What you're seeing on the screen is not sharpened. I don't believe you can get this one anymore, but I'm using this one to put in my details. This was the other pen that I thought was great on doing lines and getting the detail in. So I zoomed in here so you could see that I'm moving my pen very quickly. With even a lower setting on the heat dial, gourds burn hotter and create a darker line. So I'm trying to get a lighter burn on a lower setting. Here I've switched over to my shallow spoon shader, and I'm doing that to get a more even burn in larger areas. Again, it's on a low setting because even set it at 1, it'll burn pretty darn dark, and I don't want that here. I'm trying to give depth to my burning. Right here you can see how well the shallow spoon shader is burning on the gourd. It moves over the gourd like butter. I was really happy with the way that this burns. So I've burned all of the stick and burn pattern, and I felt I needed more, so I created my own pattern for the acorn and leaves. I did a couple of different leaves, and I'm using the awl to burn those lines in. I actually liked transferring the pattern with graphite a lot easier and made a smoother, cleaner burn than with the stick and burn. So because of my background and how long I've been burning, though I'm going to continue to try the stick and burn more and see if I can find some tips with that, I would rather use my traditional patterns, drawing it out and transferring with the graphite paper. And I really liked how the leaves came out. The burn was smoother, it was more even, but it's definitely personal preference. I'm comfortable with my drawing skills. If you're not, the stick and burn is great. Here I'm showing you my burn lines for my leaves, and you can tell the difference between where I burned with my traditional transfer and the stick and burn. I brought back in my shallow spoon shader, and I'm going to finish putting in the details for the acorns and the leaves. I have everything balanced, so I go back and forth between the two so that I'm getting an even balanced burn. Yay, we're all done burning the gourd. Now it's time that we clean it off, get the graphite and any residue from the stick and burn off. And with this, we're using what Welburn Gourd Farm calls Formula 49. It takes off all of the residue, all the graphite. You'll see as I'm doing it that the cotton pad gets dirtier and dirtier. It definitely really cleans it. I was happy with how well it cleaned everything off. This product also helps to condition the gourd so that when you're putting your inks on, everything goes on smoothly and neatly. And that'll be in our next video. So once we've got the gourd covered, we take the heat gun to it and we dry it mostly. And for this part, we are done. I did enjoy doing this gourd project. It was a first for me, and I look forward to doing more in the future. With that, here's our finished gourd. The burning is done and I'm really happy with it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and please remember to like up the video and hit that subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to leave a comment. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.